Welcome, Tara, to the Dating Intentionally podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
I can't believe I'm here. I feel so honored.
I know this is surreal because we're friends and you're my trainer. We've worked together in different capacities, and now you're on
Yeah.
my podcast.
And now I'm on your podcast about dating, and I haven't been dating in a really long time. So I'm super excited to hear where we go with this.
Yes. Okay, Tara, we're here to talk about keeping the spark alive in a relationship. So you said you've been dating for a while. How long have you not been dating? How long have you been with your husband?
Yeah, we are going to celebrate 4 years married next month and 11 years together. So a very
Oh
long
my
time.
gosh.
Yeah.
You guys met in your early 20s?
Yes.
Yeah.
So thanks for saying that. No, I'm 25. 25. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Wow, 11 years. How did you guys meet?
We met in advertising. We both worked at the same agency together. And I always love to tell this story because a lot of women don't go after the man. I asked him on a date. He actually said no twice, kept going at it. And then we were working together because he was like, I can't date someone I'm working with. And I was like, okay, fair. And then I asked him again and I was like, hey, so are you sure you don't want to just grab dinner or something? And he was like, no. And I was like, fine. A month and a half later, we have our holiday party and we both get pretty toasted. And he realizes, oh, well, actually, she might like me. And we do have a connection. And it has been us two ever since.
So, okay, what I'm hearing is he came around. There was some wiggle room, and you didn't take the first two no's as like you were like, you know what, I'm going to keep trying. How did you get in that mindset? Because I feel like a lot of people would be so bummed and kind of even maybe embarrassed or like just all the negative things.
Yeah, this is a great question. So the first time it happened, it was like in the summer, and he was kind of like, I was fairly new and we were trying to like figure each other out. And he kind of thought that I liked his friend more than him. And he had just gotten out of a relationship and it was kind of like that. And I was like, oh, no worries. We're still like new coworkers.
Got
The
it.
second time it happened, I was like, I just really liked his energy. Also, I've always dated like kind of, oh, I don't want to say narcissistic, but pretty much narcissistic men. I've always dated like these guys that like weren't great for me. And he was just like a nice guy and we had good energy and we would laugh together. And so I made the second time very casual. You want to just grab dinner. Then when he officially was like, no, I can't date coworkers, I was like, okay, I'm going to move on. So I actually started kind of seeing someone else right before we had
Yeah.
met up at the holiday party. And I didn't say anything at the holiday party. We just started talking and the connection just started getting deeper and deeper. And then it was like, I mean, full transparency, we hooked up at the holiday party and then actually started dating after that.
That's what holiday parties are for. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if there's a vibe and you're both into it, yes.
Yeah. So there was a point where I was just like, fine, whatever. Like it was like maybe October, where it was the second time. And that's when I was like, fine, I'll go be my single and go,
Yeah.
meet or see other people or whatever. And then, yeah, it happened maybe like a month. Yeah, it was like a month and a half later where the spark was there.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
a great story. I appreciate you sharing that. Also, we love hearing a spark or a connection being initiated by a woman. I love that. I want that. I want more of that today. Like this was 11 years ago. I want
I know.
more of that today, where more women are initiating and being the chooser from the beginning. Like, no, I see you. I want to date you. And Teddy, it sounds like he wasn't like turned off by that. It was just the work thing that was kind of making him have, and it also sounds like some other personal stuff that was making him have his hesitation at first. You didn't take that personally. You were like, okay, fine. You even tried again in a different way. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have very different personalities. We're definitely two totally different people. So I think he maybe appreciated that kind of like forwardness or bluntness that I threw out there. And in like early stages of us dating, it was actually a little overwhelming because I'm very extroverted. I can talk to a lot of people and he's very introverted. And so we'd go to these events where I know a lot of people and he'd kind of like just be at my tail. And I'm like, what are you doing? What's happening here? Like we're here together, but like you do you, I'll do me. And we had to have like a sit down conversation, maybe like 4 months in to be like, hey, what do you need from me to make this feel, comfortable for you? Because it's not what's happening right now. And we got really serious with each other about like, what is this going to look like moving forward? And that actually made our relationship a lot closer.
Wow. Again, you are like such a risk taker. I love it because that conversation can be so scary, especially when you like someone, when you have this connection, when they're different than anyone. Like the stakes feel high, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I found this one guy I really like. And you are like, okay, you know what? We have to address this problem head on. Did that thread carry through your relationship? Do you guys still like, do you still feel like you approach conversations like that? Like, we just need to sit down and talk about this?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
However, whenever we do, not the conflict doesn't like resolve itself. It definitely takes time after that, but it usually goes away and then maybe some other something will come up. But yeah, I'm usually the type of person that like likes to talk it out. He's a little bit more reserved and maybe a little bit more avoidant. And I'm like, no, we need to figure this out. And so we definitely butt heads in that in some aspects. But yeah, the more open you are about things, like the better relationship you're going to have. And now we're kind of in a different world where we've been together for so long that we kind of need to go back to that like dating and like flirting and like having that feeling again, just because we've been together for so long.
I mean, yeah, let's get into that. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so at 11 years or 4 years married, which I don't know, like, it's like, which one matters more, right? I don't know, really. Being married for only
Well,
1 year, I don't know. What do you think?
you know, it's funny because it's like, I think it matters like how long you've been together. And plus, we didn't get married for 7 years. So I'm like, where
Yeah.
does that chopped liver? Like, no, that
No, no.
matters. And so we just celebrate them both together. So because they're just a month apart. And it's like right around the holiday season. So we pick like a long weekend to do something fun together. But
Oh, cute.
yeah, I would say like the overall time frame, but people mostly look at it as just like the marriage years.
I agree with you. I think it's the whole time together. That's what I really want to know when I ask people anyway. What have you learned about keeping the spark alive so far?
It's harder than you think. I think it's really easy to just go through the motions, be in a routine. I don't want to say become roommates, but you become so close, like best friends, that you just kind of know what the other person's going to do, say, react, where to go to dinner. Like you just know everything about them. And for those of you at home that can relate to this, both of us work from home. So not only are we together all day, we have almost every meal together. We go to the gym together, like everything is together. So it feels like it's kind of just another day. And so it feels like there's no like really exciting thing to happen. So there is a lot of really extra work you have to do to like keep that spark up. And sometimes it feels forced and sometimes it feels exciting, and really it can go either way.
Do you think whether it feels forced or exciting is more about like the activity and both of you being into it, or is it more like just the mood and the vibe or season of life you're in?
Both. I would
Yeah.
say yes. And for example, we obviously love to travel. Every time we travel, it feels like a new, fun, exciting experience to do together. We're learning things together. We're creating memories that just like we've never done before. It just feels very fresh. And so on a day-to-day basis, when we're both clocking in and out of our own jobs at home, eating breakfast and lunch and dinner, like the same, it's just really
Yeah.
hard to do that. And so last year, I want to say, and I think we did this, we did a weekly date night. And it does not have to be as often as that. It can be a once a month thing, but I was like, we need to get back in this. And so every other week for a whole year, we each had our weeks. And it was so fun because we just did different things. It didn't have to just be dinner out or cooking dinner at home, but I mean, we went roller skating and bowling and axe throwing, painting, ceramics, pottery class. Like there were so many things like that. And then, there was a couple of weeks where we just like went on picnics or like just got out of the house and did different things like that were free too.
Did it work?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like absolutely. Then we started to, slowly not do it as much.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we're back to this, like, okay, we got to like do that again. It's really easy to like get back in that routine where it feels hard again. It's like anything else. You have to put work into it, right?
Right, of course. Is there a part of you that like, and I want to say freaks out, but maybe freak out is not the right word, but like worries? It's like, oh no, we're not doing enough. We're not like putting enough into our relationship. Like, are you the one to initiate that? Are you both feeling it? How does that work?
God, yes. I mean, it's funny. You were mentioning my stories the other day. I'm the type of person that if I'm not doing anything, it's not good enough. And so sometimes when we don't have anything planned or there's nothing coming up, I'm like, oh man, like we need to be better. We need to like go out and do something.
Yeah.
And typically I would say it's me just because I don't think it bothers him as much. he's a very homebody. We can like just be near each other and it would be fine for him. Whereas I'm always kind of chasing something new. We actually talked about this recently. I'm like, why do we feel like we can't have like that spark when we are like on vacation? And he's like, we can. Your mind is always being in this future oriented and mine can be a little bit more present. So that's definitely where I need to work on. Like, I think we can both take different things from each other.
Do you think he's right? Like, do you think he like nailed it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, that's the thing. Like, I love you sharing this because this is the real stuff that we don't really see. And like, part of being in a healthy relationship is recognizing really all you control is you. So it's like, what can you adjust to make it easier for both of you? What can they adjust also? But like, you can't really control that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to just go through the day to day. And so sometimes when he's like, I can be more present or we can do stuff together, and then we're just back in the routine, I'm like, well, does that actually work or do we need something different? And so that's where I'm like, no, I'm right. And then we can go in this like match of like who's right,
Yeah, totally. Well, okay. Were there any particular, you mentioned axe throwing, bowling, roller skating. Were there any other really like super fun date ideas that you returned to or like we should do that again?
We're competitive. Are you guys competitive with each other?
No, I am, but he's not.
Yeah.
With board games and like games, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love board games. There are several places in Austin where you can do like actual games. I don't know if there's anything in California, but this place called Activate. That's like you're running around, jumping, pressing things like basketball. It's super, super fun. Like kind of arcade style, but it's more active. There's also a really cool like arcade here that you can go. It's like $10 all you can play. Those are always super fun because it gets us like back to like being a kid again. And then we'll have like dinner out. We'll talk about things. That's when I feel like we can get into some deeper conversations and stuff too. Anything really for us, because we're home so much, that's out of the house and getting us moving in some capacity will allow some of those conversations to ultimately be really easy to talk about at that point. Cause it's just harder when you're home a lot.
Yeah. One date that I saw that you mentioned on your stories was a photo walk. And that was really intriguing to me. Can you explain what a photo walk is? It sounded like really easy to do.
So easy. I loved it. I saw it on TikTok one time. And all it is we were in Croatia when we did it actually, but you can do it anywhere. And we each gave each other a color and we went on a walk together, but you can kind of split off when you see things. And he gave me red and I gave him yellow. And the goal is to take as many pictures as you can in that color and then put them in an album or like easily favorite them so you can screenshot and look at it afterwards. And it's just really cool, like what your eye can see. So it allows you to like be inspired by what you see around you, but then also share it as like a show and tell kind of thing too. So the walk we went on was maybe like 30 minutes. You can do it for as long or as short as you want, but we were in a city. You can do it also on a hike or, in nature or something too. But it was really fun. Yeah, that was a cool, like free experience to do together.
Yeah, I thought that was a really unique idea. It's like, I love when you find these random things on TikTok and it's like, let's just try that. I've seen recently that I'm like, I'm not sure I want to try, but looks interesting is the sushi battleship. Have you seen that?
I have seen that, but it would absolutely not work for us because we'd eat the sushi way faster.
I know. I'd be like, how would I be able to sit there? I'd have to like eat before that for that to work for me.
And then it's like, why? Like, I don't know. It's like,
why is because the spark. We have to keep the spark alive. You have to do silly, weird things sometimes. That's why.
But then I'd be like, let's just play Battleship. I actually bought Battleship recently because we love board games and we play the same like 3 or 4 all the time. And I was like, let's just buy Battleship. And it was actually fun. We played like maybe last month. I was like, this is actually a super easy game. So you can eat sushi while you're playing Battleship.
Okay, that's the updated version. Just sushi on the side with Battleship. I know you work from home together. You've been together for 11 years. You probably have gone through some shit together and also personally. What happens to the spark when you're going through some shit in life? Like in my mind, I'm like, you just don't care. Like, right. You can put the spark aside for a minute, but people were asking about this. So I'm curious to hear about your take.
Yeah, gosh, you caught me on a year where this is definitely very real for me. I had a major loss in my life and there were just months, even now I'm still kind of working through it where it's just really hard to find that connection again. But ultimately we created a bond and a marriage where we're there for each other no matter what. And he's just been like the most supportive and rock person in my life that like, even though I'm still like, yeah, I want that spark back again, I'm also like, I know kind of where we're at and what I need from him and what he needs from me at this point. Because realistically, like, you know, especially with grief, like you need them a lot more than you think you do. And that actually takes a lot from them. You know, most people talk about the person, like I lost my mom, and people talk about me, but really I'm always like, hey, check in with Teddy. Like he needs that love and support too, because he's 100% for me right now. You know, people talk about all the time. It's like relationships 50-50 is like, absolutely not. Right now it's like 80-20, or, you know, every season of life can change that. And so of course you always want the spark to be alive, but like, it's hard when things are really hard, or there's always something going on through your mind.
Yeah, like you're in survival mode and on a certain level when you're going
Yeah.
through something like that huge loss you went through, and I'm so sorry, you know, and it's so great that Teddy can be your rock. But you're right, it's a good point. It's like the partner also is going through stuff as well next to you going through your stuff. And it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's the messy stuff that no one likes to think about. It's the not romantic stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But ultimately, like that's why you build a partnership and a relationship, is because you're there for them no matter what. It's a little bit harder too, because we're not around family here where we are. And so it's like really, he is that like,
Yeah.
really the rock that is holding both of us right now. And so, yeah, it's check in with that other person. It means a lot to them and also to the person that is going through it too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great advice.
Yeah.
Another question that came out from my audience is like about feeling taken for granted. Because I think in a long-term relationship, like that you're saying, you get in your routine. Like for, you know, Johnny and I, we do watch TV pretty much every night, which was my like worst nightmare. But but it's okay. Like it's fine. But like, how do you avoid like either taking your partner for granted or feeling taken for granted of?
What does the TV have to do with taking for granted?
I think that in early dating, you're in the honeymoon phase and you're just like
Mm-hmm.
so in love with each other and you're so locked into each other. And then you get into your life, things just kind of fall into place. And I think that does connect with taking the person next to you for granted because they are now just
Okay.
a fixture in your life.
Got it. Okay. I was kind of looking at it from a different lens. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Yeah. Taking them for granted in that they're just a fixture of your life. They're a part of your routine. It's like your sidekick, basically.
Yeah.
Two things I will say for that. The first thing is like, I'm the same way with TV. We actually like, we're doing that for a long time. And then I'm like, all right, these are the days we're at least doing a couple days a week where we've got to get out of the house. We've got to do something else. We'll just sit on the couch, put music on, and not turn on the TV, but we'll just have a conversation. That's been really helpful. Or we'll do like a board game or something so that we're not just going in that zone, because again, that's so easy to do. It's like the easier it is, the more you're going to do it. So just kind of getting yourself out of that zone is really great. But also just, I mean, I would say even just having this conversation with you right now makes me realize like how much I've probably taken him for granted over the last 4 months since my mom passed away. And yeah, you just don't realize how really good you have it or how incredible the relationship is until you zoom out. And sometimes that takes a conversation like this or, you know, the last 10 years of life to be like, oh my gosh, we've grown so much and we've learned so much from each other. But because you're in the day to day, you don't see it. So that's more of like a zooming out and seeing like how far you've come in your relationship and in your life and where you want to go.
Yeah. I like that zooming out tip. I think that's important. It's like, it's easy to do when you're traveling. It's easy to do on an anniversary or a holiday or birthday when you're like, let's zoom out for a second, but you do have to incorporate it more often than those 3 things in the year, you know?
I know.
Yeah. And it's hard.
It's hard to do. And then it's like, okay, well, you know, what am I going to do? Put it on my calendar? It's like, but then that kind of, we have like a monthly, I call it a TNT brunch where we'll like check in with each other, but sometimes we'll just like do something over it or like not do it, you know? So it doesn't always work. You can do the best you can, but also we're human and sometimes we need a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I want to shout out Johnny really quick because we have like a every other week check-in that we do. And in that check-in, we do appreciation. So I think that's how I've avoided feeling taken for granted of or whatever like that. We haven't had that as much because we have this forced space to appreciate each other every other week out loud to each other's face. we missed it this weekend and he put it back on the calendar for this week and we did it during this week. And I really appreciated that. I was like, you actually care about doing this. Good for you and
Yeah,
me.
I love that. And it's also like you guys have to work together, right? And it can't just be just you putting it on the calendar, just him doing this or just me doing this. It's like it is a partnership in every way. And if you can both see the value out of it in some capacity, I think it should absolutely stick with you.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
What's your advice for the listener who might feel like they're being taken for granted in a relationship?
Ooh, that's a good question. It depends on the person, right? Like for me personally, I would like have an open conversation. But if Teddy felt like that, or if maybe you're an introvert out there and you're like, you don't like conflict, you could go maybe a softer route and like maybe leave a couple, I don't know, I like notes around the house or something like that to kind of like tell him that you're there again. And then maybe have the conversation like in a very soft way, or just kind of open up to how you're feeling in a, hey, I just want to let you know this is how I felt about this specific situation. Don't be like, here's all these times that you sucked. It's just
the list.
Like, yeah. I'm bad at that too, because I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to like let it go. And then at like one argument will be like, well, you also did this and this and this and this. And I'm like, that's not productive at any point at all. So yeah, having a conversation is great, but like you have to do it in a very soft way, and you have to do it when you personally feel like you can handle maybe some sort of conflict or some sort of like,
or like resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such good advice. Go into it knowing you might be met with resistance or defensiveness. Can you handle that in that moment and not take it personally? And maybe this is the first time your partner is hearing this and they just need a second to process it. And then they can like be less defensive after that moment.
That's great. And like do something beforehand that like can put you in that place too, like dancing, going for a walk, moving your body, meditating, like breathing exercises, so you can like feel comfortable going into it. Because like, yeah, having that mental headspace of where you're at is so important.
So well said. So, okay, a lot of questions about this, and I didn't realize you were the perfect person to talk about this, but a lot of people are asking, how do you deal in a relationship where one person is like more out there and the other person is a little more reserved? Like I got a lot of, I like to go out and he's a homebody type questions. Do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, of course. We're very much that. I would say as I've gotten older and as we've gotten into this relationship more, I've become a little bit more introverted. Don't need to go out as much. Also, I'm in my mid-30s now. Shout out, home at 9, sleep at 9:30. But I think that just evolves and changes as you get older. When I was in my mid to late 20s, like I definitely wanted to go out more. He did too. He just like didn't want to do a lot of the same thing I did. So I think, and still very much think, that you should be two different humans and have different interests and things, but also respecting each other with the interest in what you do is really important too. So having that connection that you have with each other each week is just as important as the solo things you do. And then I will say, like, what's helped us so much is making them feel really comfortable. So if we're in a new situation and there are a lot of new people, personally, I could talk to anyone. I'm very open with that. He needs an introduction. Hey, this is Teddy. Or I'll say, oh my God, you love to golf? Oh my gosh, like he loves to golf. He loves video games. That's his thing. It's an easy in, and then you'll get him talking. So I just try to make him feel as comfortable as possible if we are going out together.
Such great tips. And I just want to point this out for listeners. Like, you guys didn't just wake up knowing this about each other and knowing to do this move. You had to have the conflict and talk about it multiple times and work through it multiple times to get to a point where like, okay, I know Teddy needs this and I can do that. End of story.
Absolutely. But I would not have known if we didn't have that communication, but also seeing it live many times.
Yeah.
And because he's the type of person that probably wouldn't bring a lot of this up, I actually have to ask, like, because I know him well enough now that he's, has little quirks about him that I know. But if you're, just starting to get to know someone, like having these asking questions, being in different scenarios where you're like, putting each other out there and new experiences or events or something, like how do they react? Like, what does it feel like? that's a great way to get to know them really
I
well.
love this so much. Like you're really highlighting how when you learn something about your partner, some people can see it as like, oh, we're different. This isn't going to work. But you're taking these learnings and you're making it work better for both of you. And that's what I love. It's like, no, this is how you embrace and accept differences. This is how you can take this information and make your relationship better, show up for your partner better instead of focusing on like, oh, we're too different. This is too hard. I love it.
If we were the same, I would not be happy. I don't know about you, but I don't want to date someone like me.
No.
Like that seems miserable. I'm already enough. Like I have too much to handle. And he has in turn made me so much more patient and so much more calm. And I've given him a little sass and spark. And so there is more of that balance now where he's still a lot more patient, a lot more calm, and I'm still up here. But like over time, we've really utilized each other to stand up for ourselves in ways that make us feel really good. So yeah, the more different, the better, I think.
That's amazing. I love hearing about your mental health journey. This is something that I feel like I've heard you talk about online. We've talked about in real life. I will never forget you describing your morning routine in Nicaragua. That was one of my favorite moments of the trip because the entire table was just wrapped with attention on your detailed breaking it down. It was just amazing.
It's so funny because I remember when you brought that up to me for this and I was like, I don't like, it was so boring, but they were like, and then what? And then what? And I'm like, okay, like I'll tell you step by step exactly what I do.
I'm like, I'm just kidding, but we'll put it in the show notes. But I'm kidding because it's like it's so long. Okay, but no, I want to talk about routines because I think they play a huge part in reaching our goals. A lot of listeners are trying to date to get into a relationship. So, like, I just want to hear from you generally. What would be your tips for building routines to help them get there?
Specifically for dating or just like in life?
Just like when you approach building routines in general.
Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost, throw out the door thinking that you need a 7-step, 10-step, 20-step routine. Or if you see my routine in the show notes, don't put it there. Don't think you have to do everything that some random person does. Like you have to find stuff that works best for you. I always will talk about like habit stacking. Atomic Habits is such a great book of how to actually build the habits that you want. But really with the routine, you have to start with where you are. Okay. So I'm not going to say wake up at X time or drink water or whatever until you know like what you're doing. So my thing with anything is take inventory of where you're at. So for a couple days during the week and then a weekend day, just write down what you're doing on a daily day basis. That can just be, I go to sleep at this time, I wake up this time, this is the first thing I do. Here's the food that I eat when I work out, when I work, whatever. And then you can look at it the next week and you can say, okay, what do I like and what do I not like about that?
That's a great place to start. And I think applying this to dating, it could be like, when are you actually meeting people in real life? Are you crossing paths with anyone? How often are you using the dating apps? Which ones are you using? Are you going to any events in the week, like after work, or are you just going right home and not seeing anyone? Like that's kind of how you would apply that to your social and dating life, I guess.
Yeah, that's a really great idea because if you're going to the same places, doing the same things and it's not working, then something needs to change up. But in that sense, and in like the sense I'm talking about with a routine, I'm not going to be like, okay, well, Monday I'm going here and Tuesday I'm doing this. And then Wednesday, I pick one day or one thing that I want to change or update or add and then focus on that for like 2 weeks. And then you can be like, okay, that worked really well. Let's keep that up and then maybe add something else that's small.
What do you think about like, okay, when you say it works well, because it's like, okay, how do we know in dating that works well? Obviously, you're a personal trainer, you work with fitness. Tell us, like in fitness terms, how do we know routine is working well?
Ooh, that's such a great question. Fitness and in general, right? How do you know it's working well, or how do you know it's working for you? Is really
because like, can you tell in 2 weeks?
It depends. Every situation is very unique, but let's just say you are going to the gym for a couple weeks, 3 times a week, and it's working within your schedule. You're able to complete the workouts. You are able to go through all the movements. You can do it in the time that you have allotted. You feel pretty good afterwards. Like you have a little bit more energy. You feel yourself. Would I call that as working well? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not working with your schedule, you've maybe hit half of the workout, or it's too busy at that time, or like you don't have any energy because you're going after work. What could we switch? Like, I would
Right.
say maybe that's not working well. Or if we have a scale of like 1 to 10, maybe that's like a 4. And what I was saying earlier is maybe like an 8 or a 9, like, cause that was
Mm-hmm.
at a good spot. So now that 4, it's like, how can I make it closer to that 8 or 9? And so maybe it's
Right.
just switching the time, shortening the program.
This is so important because I think with dating, we have routines, right? Like, and even what you said earlier about don't share my morning routine because it's like not realistic or attainable for a lot of people because you've been doing this forever, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And
Yeah.
it's like people, it's the same with dating. It's like people will see my routine of I went out with 64 people in a year and I was going on multiple dates, sometimes in a day. Not realistic for the majority of people. So it's like really
Yeah.
important to be like, okay, I'm going to set these realistic goals for myself in my routine. I'm going to revise as needed. I'm not going to just fall off if it doesn't work in 2 weeks, if it's not working. Like you can adjust things, you can switch things up. Yeah.
I think it's so easy to compare nowadays.
Yeah.
So they'll see that you went on all those dates. They'll see me do this routine or like have a specific look or feel, but they have no idea. You have no idea what your life or my life is. And we only see what we can see. And so always
Yeah.
I say this with fitness, wellness, celebrities, like anything, it's like you only see what people want you to see in general. And so even though you think Talia or myself like have it all together, there's a lot of stuff up here that we're still working on or in our life that like got us to the place that we are. Try not to compare, but yes, going back to what you said, like trial and error, it's really a part of life, right? The more you can try things out, the more you're going to figure out what's going to work best for you.
Yeah, that's why I have this podcast. I want people to experiment in their dating life. I want them to try different things. And it's like some things I say might not work for you, but it's still worth a
Right.
try, like one time. Just see how it feels, if it works in your schedule, if it just like aligns with your energy and your vibe. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay. There's like so much to try. There's so many things to try. Like with fitness, there's so many different types of fitness to try,
Yeah.
like types of exercise. It's like endless. So I want people to just have like a more positive approach to what they're doing in their dating life. And I love this, like what you're sharing. But when it comes to falling off, like let's say someone says, okay, I'm going to go on one date a week. And then after the second week, they don't do any. And they're like, crap, like what? I'm so bad at this. There's like this negativity. How do you get back on the horse?
That's such a good question because that could be related to fitness, work, and anything, right? And then you kind of feel like a failure. You're like, I said that I was going to set out and do this. And like, here I am week 3 and I didn't even get it done. Same thing goes with fitness or lifestyle. I would always say, and this is with potentially dating, but definitely in the fitness world, people think that they're like, they need to be motivated to do the thing. And so they're always kind of searching for this motivation. But without a purpose or without a why, it's going to always be hard to show up. And so I would go back to like, okay, for dating, what is your why? Is it to potentially find a partner? Is it to find someone, just to find a partner to check it off your list, to say that you've done it and you want to get married and have kids and just do the things that society told you to do? Or is it for you to like find someone that you really care about that can be with you through thick and thin? Well, you know that if that's the case, it's going to take more than a couple weeks to do that. And some weeks might shift or you might not be able to get there. But that doesn't mean that just because you missed a week, just because I skipped one workout, just because one meal was shitty that day, doesn't mean it ruins everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we
Yeah.
just kind of go back to like, what is the reasoning behind what we're doing that will continuously get you to show up?
Yeah, that's so important. I think going back to the why is really powerful. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was just kind of like just some mental health stuff because with dating really, really fucks with our minds, like, and our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves, just everything. So and I know like you've gone through a lot with your journey with fitness. So what are some of the things that have worked for you in terms of just maintaining your mental fitness, your mental health?
I always like to say that the reps you put in the gym are just as important as the reps you put in between your ears. Because if you can't believe that you are capable of more, whether that is through fitness or work or dating or just life in general, then you're not ever going to get there. And so some may call it woo or manifestation. But if you constantly tell yourself You're not going to find a partner. You're not going to get married. You're not going to have the life that you want. Why would you?
Yeah.
So we have to change that mindset. Now, I'm not a toxic positivity kind of gal, but I do like neutrality. And sometimes that gets you to a place where you can set up these exciting goals and how you feel. But if you've been in this negative mindset, or, you've been told a certain thing that has made you feel a certain way or change the way you feel about yourself, it's going to take time to get out of that. It's just reps, right? It's just about that trial and error. Like the reps you put in the gym is just as important as the mind reps.
Yeah. So, okay, that's a great place to start. What are some things you specifically do? Like, are you a journaler? Are you, like, I know you're into meditation. Like, what are some of these, like, the more kind of tactic-y things that you've tried?
Yeah, I do meditation 5 to 10 minutes. I use a Headspace app. It's very simple. Sometimes I'm in it, focused. Some days I'm like, get me out of this, and don't even want to finish it. But no matter what, I show up for it and I listen to it. Even some days I listen to it and I'm walking around like making breakfast. I'm like, I know this is really a meditation, but if I just have it in my ears. So no matter what, I'm still showing up. So that's number one. The second thing I would say is like, I don't journal, but I like to voice note. I have a couple like folders in my phone of whenever I feel a negative thought that comes into my head, I say it out loud, and then I'll actually listen to it back. And that is not fun. And that actually has helped me so much, like be less of an asshole. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but less of a butthole to myself, because I hear how bad it sounds, and it doesn't feel good.
I have not heard that one. I've not heard of someone voice memoing the negative things and then being like, wow, I really should be saying that to myself.
Yeah.
You're like really checking yourself.
Yeah. Wow. And then it gets you back into that, like, I have a fixed mindset. He's called Tiny Tim. And a lot of the times that fixed mindset is coming from a different place. And sometimes I like to like push it away. I'm like, no, I don't want this. Most of the time it's trying to teach us something. It's there for a reason. Why is it there? Where did it come from? And kind of sitting in that and like talking out loud or hearing it back and being like, where is that from? How can I go back to like the root of it? And then kind of like move forward from there.
What does moving forward look like? It's like, is it just be like telling yourself the opposite? Like, what does that look like?
No, yeah, good question. It's not like I'm like, oh no, I'm Beyonce. I'm the best person ever. It's just noticing. And honestly, it's not that they're going to go away. It's just that they don't stay as long, or they don't come up as often. And we're just kind of decreasing the bandwidth or the space in our brain of when it comes up as often. Yeah. So for example, I've worked with clients where they'll be like, I feel really good. And then I get on the scale and I'm like, oh man, like I didn't lose any weight, or I still am this. And then the rest of their day is ruined. Then they like start working on themselves and feel good in their bodies, and they're working on their mindset. And they're like, I'll weigh myself. And it maybe lasts like an hour. I'm like, that's a huge win, because it wasn't the whole day. It wasn't 24 hours. It's 1 hour, Right. And so I think that that's really important too, is a lot of people think that like the switch is going to flip, but I work on this all the time and it's still there.
It's not going to go away. And I think with dating, it's like this comes after someone ghosts you, or someone sends you a text being like, I'm not interested. I don't feel a spark, whatever. You're sitting there, you're like, man, I really thought that was going to work out, or I really like that person. That sucks. And then you can get into this whole story of how you're never going to find anyone, or you're not fill in the blank enough, or whatever it is. Yeah. So I think putting this into practice would look like, if you were Tara, you're voice noting that to yourself, maybe, and listening to it back and being like, would I say this to myself if I was my friend? Like, does this really sound loving to myself? Where is this coming from? Whose voice is this? Yeah. I love that. And it's scary. Like the idea of saying my negative thoughts out loud and listening back sounds terrifying to me. I'm like, I don't know if I want to try it.
It sounds really harsh. And I will say it is. But it's checked me so much faster. The other thing that I've actually learned this from therapy is to check the facts. Okay, this person ghosted you. What are the facts here? We don't actually know, because he ghosted you. That's maybe a bad example.
No, the fact that this person thinks it's okay to just drop off the
Oh,
face of the earth and not say anything. So why would you even want to date them? That's the
boom.
fact.
That is the actual fact. But that's, I would say, a little bit harder than, I mean, I get that in like with clients. They'll be like, yeah, I'm all in, I'm ready to go. And then like, I won't hear from them ever again. I'm like, oh, okay. That feels hard, right? It feels like it's like directly at you, but like really it's an insecurity of them, or it's something that's going on in their life. And then we have to go back to like, we don't know them that well, like we don't know what's going on in their life. But the other one I was going to use is like, oh, I'm not that into you, or I don't think this is going to work out. Okay. What are the facts? He's looking for someone a little different than me. Does that make me ugly or stupid or whatever I'm going to tell myself in my head? No, that just means whatever I am right now is not what he's looking for. And that's great, because then I didn't waste my time in like putting effort into something that wasn't going to work anyway.
Yeah. I love that. That's so well said. I want to like take that slice and just make everyone listen to it.
I mean, I could also say, boy, bye, or like, girl, bye, like, get out of here, but also at the end of the day, we're all human that have real emotions and real feelings. And sometimes it just plain sucks. Like, I totally get that too. And you can feel that, like, have the anger, have the sadness, eat the cake, have a glass of wine, whatever you like to do. And then be like, okay, what are the facts of what happened?
Totally.
And then you can slowly move on, whatever that looks like for you.
Back to what you were saying earlier, that we're not telling you this to get rid of the bad emotion or like right away. It is just working through it and not adding it to this story you've been telling yourself that it actually is holding you back from what you want. Because
ultimately that's the most important thing, right? Like, what do you want?
Tara, this has been so amazing. We've gone into so many different topics. This is so refreshing because you're not like a dating coach, but you're a coach. So all this wisdom you bring just is so applicable. I love it. I would love to do a dating dilemma with you. Are you ready? This is a longer question that someone submitted for the podcast, so we can answer it together.
Love it.
I, 46 female, have been divorced for over 6 years. 2 years into it, my friend and past coworker, 36 male, hooked up after a fun day of disc golf. Since then, it happened a couple times. This past weekend, I visited him at his new house for a day of canoeing and a night by the fire. We did not end up hooking up. I'm super attracted to him. We get along so well and we can completely be ourselves. I want to date him, but we never talked about that possibility. Should I say something or will that ruin our friendship?
I love this. Can I do these every week?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, it's hard because I'm not a dating coach, so I'm not going to be like, follow this advice.
No, it's like, tell us it's okay. This is casual. This is just like, you have experience. You've been in a relationship for 11 years. So what would you say to this person if it's your friend?
Well, I also would say, like, I've dated a coworker before, right?
That's why I picked this for you.
Yeah. So, it's hard because I have many follow-up questions. How close are you in working together? Like, Teddy was in a back studio. I was in the front office. So we didn't really see each other that much. She said
past coworker. So I think they don't work together anymore. They're friends now.
They're friends, but they're hooking up. And then at the end, they didn't hook up the last time they saw each other.
Yeah.
But they have a really great time together. How should she approach this? I am a firm believer of like just being super honest in like how you feel. What's the worst that could happen? Do we know that they're seeing someone else or?
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think it's like, you got to say something. She asked, should I say something or will that ruin our friendship? And to me, I'm like, girl, what friendship? You've already hooked up.
Yeah. What friendship? Exactly. Like, I don't know about you, Talia, but I'm not like banging my friends.
No, I don't do that with my friends. Not since college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, 46 female, like, you guys are more than friends or you're not friends at this point, I would say. So yeah, I just say like how you feel and do it in a way that feels casual and comfortable in a setting that feels good for both of you too, but also maybe not putting him on the spots, more just like, hey, I'm interested in this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's such good advice. Please give yourself more credit. This is fantastic advice of casual, lighthearted, coming from, I want this, I'm interested in this, not what do you want, what do you feel? That's putting them on the spot. I mean, it's still kind of putting them on the spot to like open the conversation, but at least you're starting from your opening position of like, here's what I want. Are we aligned? Are you open to this too? You know, that's great advice. And I think, your friendship is done. So RIP to that. So I think it's worth just next time saying, you could even open it like, last time was so fun. I kind of wish we did more. I was looking for some fun, but also I'm really interested in you. Like, that's one way to get into it. Like last time, but what about like in the future?
Yeah, the only thing I'm like kind of thinking about that is like, what if like he only wants to like hook up? So if she
Well,
is
he would say
really
that.
actually,
I guess
that's
like you have
true,
to
I
make it
guess.
clear. Yeah, you have to make it
Yeah,
clear of like I'm interested in dating. I want to
XYZ.
see
Yeah.
where this could go. You can't come off being like I want to commit to you to like today. It's more
No,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's the casual like why don't we go on a date and actually talk about if we want to date?
Okay, this
Yeah.
is, you're going to laugh at me. And I don't know if I've told you this before, but the night that we hooked up, Teddy and I, on the holiday party, I was leaving town the next day. I was going to San Francisco for a couple days. And then I was getting back on Sunday and we did not talk. Like we talked on Friday, but I was like, oh, like this was fun. But I can't believe we just did that and then did it again in the morning. Anyways, we didn't talk for a couple days and he didn't message me. And I was like, what the F? Like I thought we had a great time. Like it's been like 24 hours, nothing. On Sunday, I sent him one text that said, want to make out? And then he said yes. And then we like saw each other on Sunday night and then went on some dates after that. But so maybe it is just, I mean, again, I'm very forward, very blunt, but like maybe it is just like a little bit of that to like get the
I mean, at
conversation
the end of the day,
going.
you've got to make your interest clear. And want to make out
True.
is a great way, is a great text to send if you're flirting with someone. If you have a crush on someone, I think that's a fantastic text to send.
I think so. I wasn't like
Yeah.
want to bang. I was like want to make out, you know?
Yeah. But like, how did you manage to not make it like just a hookup thing? Is it because he knew you were interested in more because you asked him out? Like,
And also like we just had such a great conversation that night. And we were also kind of friends beforehand, which it sounds like they
okay.
were too. Like they were
Right.
past coworkers. They also have, it sounds like, hung out without hooking up too. So I think like they already have that camaraderie. And then they also have
Right.
that like sexual tension too. So it's like from an outsider's perspective, I think this is like a really cool opportunity for it to really flourish.
Do it and let us know how it goes.
Please send me a DM. I would love to hear about it.
Sarah, also, but before we sign off, I just want to say, like, to everyone listening, if you are a woman and you want to work out, please go check out Tara's program. This isn't paid. I just am a huge fan and have been forever and use it and love it. Just, I'll link it in the show notes, but seriously, I'm obsessed with this program.
Amazing.
Which is called Broads. Yeah, I didn't say the name.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been so much fun. You've gotten so strong and it's so cool to watch you and all the other women across the world just taking up space and really standing in their power and feeling more confident.
Can you tell us where else we can find you?
Yes, on Instagram mostly, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, all the places, Tara LaFerrera. I also have a podcast. It's called The Broads Podcast. Talia was on it as well. So we did a little swapsies here. And yeah, Broads Podcast, Broads app, and then Instagram is really where you'll find me. Lots of A's, lots of R's, Tara LaFerrera.
I will link it in the show notes. Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you.